What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Packers Report. My name is Joey Petersen, and a happy game day to you. Coming up on Sunday morning show, we got our Packers and Steelers preview, which means 5 keys to victory against Pittsburgh. 5 things I think the Green Bay Packers need to do tonight if they want to walk away victorious. And then coming up last, my score prediction. But don't worry, I'm going to give you a chance to get your score predictions in the comment section down below. Speaking of tonight's game, guess what? We'll be live for it right here on the Packers Report, 6:15 Central Time, 7:15 Eastern. Make sure to subscribe and also get those notifications turned on. So that way when we do go live, you know when it's happening and you guys can be the first one in there with us. We'll have an hour-long tailgate build-up, and then we'll do play-by-play in-depth analysis, and we'll be here for the entirety of the game. Make sure to subscribe, turn on those notifications so you don't miss out. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Carrie Underwood's going to be in attendance. We will be in attendance on YouTube. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers is going to be in attendance for his first game yet against the Green Bay Packers. And this is a game, ladies and gentlemen, we have had circled since May, since the schedules were released. And we knew that Aaron Rodgers would be facing the Green Bay Packers for the first time in his career. This has been the game we've been talking about. This has been the game that we've been looking forward to. Now, I will give a take. I don't love that they're doing the alternate uniforms. I think in Aaron Rodgers' first game against the Packers, it just needs to be a classic look. Regardless, I digress. This one is a massive, massive game and a massive, massive moment for both Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers himself. Let's get into my keys to victory, though. Number 1, the offensive line needs to step up, and they need to step up big time. If there's anything that screams a Mike Tomlin defense, it's a defensive line that's able to get to the quarterback and generate pressure. And guess what? That's exactly what Pittsburgh is in the year of our Lord 2025. 22 sacks this season, third best in the NFL. 100 quarterback pressures, top 10. 37.2 quarterback pressure rate, just outside of the top 10. They come in at 11th there. And it's because their 5-man front is so dynamic, so talented, so aggressive, so fast, and so strong. Alex Highsmith, who's one of the most underrated outside linebackers in the sport, Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, their rookie Derek Harmon, and then T.J. Watt. There's not much more I have to say than just T.J. Watt. The funny thing is, though, the Steelers this year have been playing a ton of nickels, so you're actually not seeing that 5-man front a ton. But the thing about Pittsburgh is they're still able to get to you, whether they're rushing 4, whether they're rushing 5, whether they are rushing 1. The good news is, from Green Bay's perspective, you've seen a ton of improvement along the offensive line. I think after that game against Cleveland, everybody was like, oh my goodness, are you going to be able to win football games if your offensive line continues to play this way? And I think that was more of a testament to how good Cleveland's defensive line looked than to how bad the Green Bay Packers offensive line was, because although it has not been a perfect unit by any stretch of the word, it's been a lot better. It's gotten a little bit more confidence from myself in that unit, and they're just going to have to show out against Pittsburgh tonight. Who do you got, Green Bay or the Steelers? Let me know by typing those GBs or typing those PITs in the comment section. Who do you think wins tonight? Let me know down below. My second key to victory: handle heavy personnel, okay? When you are on defense, you are going to see a ton of heavy personnel from Pittsburgh, okay? They use 12 personnel, which means 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 40.37% of the time, 4th highest in the National Football League. They use 13 personnel, which is 1 running back, 3 tight ends, 15.9% of the time, which is first in the National Football League. So you see 1 running backs and 2 or 3 tight ends 55% of the time, over half of the time that you're playing against Pittsburgh. The thing is, though, their heavy personnel looks a lot different than most teams' heavy personnel, because they actually bring in an offensive tackle, Spencer Anderson, and line him up as a tight end, as an extra blocker, who's 6'5", 304 pounds. And then a guy who is a tight end, pretty much could play offensive line, Darnell Washington out of Georgia, 6'7", 265 pounds. And then they have the quick, athletic, wide receiver type tight end in Jonnu Smith, who's 6'3", 248. Regardless, a lot of times when they're in 13 personnel, when they're in there heavy, it will be these three guys in the game who can absolutely dominate you when it comes to their ability to run block just because of the sheer size that they've got. For this game, I kind of wonder if Jeff Hafley looks at Micah Parsons and says, look, you are probably more useful to us in the off-ball linebacker position. You're a little bit more useful, not as an edge rusher, if we just play you as a linebacker. Because in my opinion, when you're dealing with heavy personnel like that, that might be the case. Just get some bigger guys in at the defensive end spot. And I know Micah just is coming off a game against the Arizona Cardinals where he absolutely wrecked at the edge rusher position. I get that. But still, regardless, this is a different team than Arizona. They run their offenses much differently than Arizona does. We just showed you exactly how they do that, and you might need Micah Parsons in that spot at the off-ball linebacker position where he can be a little bit more of a down-to-down game wrecker, a little bit more help when it comes to stopping the run. Number 3, Jordan Love, in my opinion, needs to be on today. Okay? Now, one of the reasons I say that is because we've seen against Pittsburgh, in fact, the last time they played a football game, a 40-year-old Joe Flacco go out there and look like he was prime Joe Montana. 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, 66% completion percentage against Pittsburgh on Thursday Night Football. Jamar Chase, 16 catches, 161 yards, 10.1 yards a catch, and a touchdown to his name as well. They were able to throw it all over the yard against Pittsburgh. And I get it. You don't have a Jamar Chase on this team. Nobody does. Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in the National Football League, and if you don't think he's best, he's second best at worst. You still, in Green Bay, have a ton of really good weapons. From Tucker Kraft, to Josh Jacobs, to Matthew Golden, to Romeo Doubs. You got a lot of elite, maybe not elite, of really, really good pass catchers. And the thing about Pittsburgh is, as good as their defensive line is, their secondary has struggled this season. Jalen Ramsey got absolutely picked on by Jamar Chase. 60.1 coverage grade this season. Joey Porter Jr., 65.4. That's the best of the bunch. And Darius Slay with a 56.4. So they're 2 offseason additions in the cornerback room. Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay have wildly disappointed, and it's up to you now to take advantage of that and be able to dominate them through the air. And, of course, if you're going to be able to do that, that's going to open up the running game as well. Speaking of Matthew Golden, do you think he scores his first touchdown of his career against Pittsburgh tonight? Let me know by giving me a yes or a no in the comment section down below. I'm about to show you something you should say yes to. It's this Packers hoodie. chatsports.com/Packers hoodie. Right now, if you use the code CHILL, you can get it for $42. That hoodie for $42. Look, I know it's getting cold in Green Bay. It's getting cold up north in the Midwest, okay? I say that as someone who lives in Dallas, Texas, because it's kind of getting chilly here. Now, our chilly is 70 degrees in October. Your chilly's a little bit different. You need this hoodie, okay? And if you go to code CHILL, go to ChatSport, or if you go to chatsports.com/Packers hoodie, use code CHILL, you'll get it for $42. That link is in the comments section and description of today's video. Key to victory number 4, take away the football. This was on our keys to victory last week against Arizona. And guess what? It came to fruition. It seemed like it was the perfect key to victory because with that Rashawn Gary forced fumble, in my opinion, that's how you were able to win the football game. Gary made the play of the day last Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. Jarring that football loose from Jacoby Brissett, Evan Williams recovered it, and then you didn't just turn the football over, but you were able to get points out of it. That is the big part because it serves nobody any purpose if you turn the football over and you're not able to score from it, okay? Might as well just force them to punt. Still in this season, only 3 takeaways. That is not good enough. That is still bottom of the National Football League. The good thing is you're facing an Aaron Rodgers who is not the Aaron Rodgers we're used to seeing in Green Bay. That dude did not turn the football over, okay? He'd go a whole season, throw 2 interceptions. We love that about him. That's not him this year with his old age, right? 5 interceptions in 2025. Tied for 6th most in the NFL. Okay? So you can force some turnovers. He can throw that football away, and you got to take advantage of it. And speaking of turnovers, number 5, hold on to the rock, okay? You cannot let them do to you what you want to do to them. You have to keep the football to the guys in green and gold. Because this is something that Pittsburgh prides themselves on. They forced 10 turnovers in 2025, which is the 5th most of any team in the National Football League. And it's not just interceptions, it's mainly fumbles forced. Mike Tomlin is a lowercase g god when it comes to coaching these guys how to jar the football loose. 7 forced fumbles in 2025. If you just looked at their one game against the New England Patriots in week 3, they forced 4 fumbles in that one game alone. That's like more than you forced this entire season. They're going to be able to get their hands on the football. They know how to punch this thing out. Mike Tomlin has had those guys doing that for decades at this point. And they're very, very good at it. You saw exactly how important it is to hold on to the football this last week against Arizona. You have to do that tonight against Pittsburgh. It is imperative. Because we saw that change the course and change the trajectory of that football game. At least that time, it was in the Green Bay Packers' favor. If you let go of the football and you allow them to do what they do really, really well, turn it over, that's not going to be good for you. What is your score prediction? Green Bay, Pittsburgh. I'm about to give you mine in like 30 seconds, but I want to hear yours down below in the comment section. Let me know. Green Bay, Pittsburgh, what's the score? Who wins? Tell me right now. Here's my score prediction. Green Bay, 21. Steelers, 17. I think this is going to be a low-scoring ball game. Okay, I really, really do. But I think it is a ball game that you win. It's on the road. That's going to be tough. You have not been great on the road so far this season. Okay, you are 1-1-1 in road games. Good thing is you won your first one this 7 days ago. It's the Arizona Cardinals. I think you keep that streak going. I think you're better than Pittsburgh is, and I think you win this ball game in close fashion. Make sure you guys got me followed on social media, Twitter, Instagram. That's where you can find me. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sub for Packers Dubs. That's what we like to say. If you subscribe, they'll win. I promise you.